Today on In the Wood Yard, it's a Blockbuster day. Let's get cutting. Today is a beautiful day. It rained for 2 days. Finally, I'm able to get back here and do some work, and today I'm going to be running the 1412 Plus Blockbuster Firewood processor. Got a whole bunch of new wood over here. We got a truckload and a half of maple, hard maple that is, waiting for me, and I need to get some of it done. So we're going to do a little bit of processing today. I'm going to hopefully do 2 loads is my plan. 2 trailer loads full. So each trailer I can get in about 4 face cords, so about a full cord and a third, about, give or take, something like that. Sometimes a little bit more, 4.5, if I really heap it high. And that's what the plan is today. So I've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours that I can work. So hopefully I can get a couple loads done and into the bin. Tomorrow morning, going on a road trip. We're heading up to the Boy Scout camp, and we're going to do a bunch of wood up there. My brother Ken and Jason are already up there. They're logging off a whole bunch of woods that we're going to be making into wood for making maple syrup. Firewood, that is. Jason's up there. I think he's taking his processor. Adam's going to come. He's taking up the Wolf Ridge 17 VS. It's right over there. We're going to have that up there. We're going to have a couple other splitters, and there's going to be at least 7 or 8 guys coming to cut wood for the Boy Scout camp. So that's going to be like a 3-day project. So a whole bunch of videos from that probably. So Kenny and Jason are up there right now. They're going to taking down a bunch of trees, and then this forwarder, Kenny's probably going to be running that. They're going to yarding up a whole bunch of logs that we're going to process, and we'll see what happens when we get there. So that is what's going to happen. We're also going to have a lot of fun too. So that's going to happen. So that'll happen tomorrow. But right now we're going to fire up this machine here. Actually, I'll start it right now. It's got to get warmed up. There we go. I usually like to start it up, run the elevator, just kind of get it working, and then once we get it working, warmed up a little bit, we'll start processing. So I like to let it get warmed up temperature-wise. Right now it's probably 55 out. Try to get it warmed up to like 70, 80 degrees, and we can start working. It doesn't really work well until it gets real warm. We find the detent on the ram won't really stay engaged or kick out until it gets good and warmed up. First thing I'm going to do is, this is a bunch of waste oil. This is not Mobil 1 in here, it's waste oil from Mobil 1. I'm going to put it on the elevator rollers, because as the elevator is going, I want this to all slide really well. So I'm going to kind of oil this up, dump a little bit of oil down into the splitting rail where the ram rides. Just put that on every once in a while, because this sits out in the rain, and I haven't used the processor in like a week now, so I'm going to give it a little drink, a little lubrication. So I like to pour some right in the middle, and then some on the chains on either side. There you go. Drink well, my friend. Now we're going to put a little down in here. There we go. So that's what we use the waste oil for. There's a lot of sawdust, so it gets kind of all mixed in with that. But it just lubricates it, keeps everything from getting rusty, because we don't use it every day. And even if we did use it every day, we'd lubricate it. Now, I did grease the machine I don't know, probably 2 weeks ago before I ran it to do some boulder wood. So it's been greased, so it's good to go. Now this machine is only going to be here for about another week, and it's leaving the wood yard forever. Yes. And then about 2 weeks after that, we're going to get a new machine. So that's cool. Look at that. There's a load of wood and then some. So yeah, I moved the trailer just once, but I went in with the grapple. What I do is I stick the grapple and I kind of spread it out so it fills the sides in, and then I kind of go into it, I grab it, and it kind of flattens it out, fills all the voids in the sides there kind of, and I am able to get more wood in. When I'm by myself, I like to do that because it allows me to keep cutting. So everything's working good. Only had one issue before I started. I readjusted the rod up on top that is for the driver on the motor there where the gears go through. The chain was right tight up against this side, so I loosened up all the set screws and slid it over and got it all set in place now, so it's working really good. And the machine is awesome. So next thing I'm going to do is to take the trailer out into the woodyard, and we're going to unload it with the elevator right into a bin. There's a load, there's a load, there's a load, there's a load, there's a load. There's actually 4 loads there and then 2 more here, so there's 6 loads all together that we've put in, and about 4.5 face cords per load, give or take, something like that, I don't know. We threw the bigger stuff down here. This was a couple loads, so that needs to be resplit and tossed in. And the stuff over here, there's some bigger stuff that needs to be resplit and tossed in, and then all this kindling is going to go into a bladder. And we found it's faster for unloading if we just chuck it onto the ground. Then I'll bring the splitter out probably in a couple days, do all the resplits, throw it right into the bin, and then it'll be all cleaned up, and then bring a bladder out here and pick up all of this kindling that's on the ground so that we can bundle it eventually. So we got that done. I was planning on doing a whole nother load, but Adam showed up, helped me unload that, and we started talking. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to be going to the Boy Scout camp to do a volunteer splitting job for a couple days. My brother Ken and Jason and Jim and a few other guys are already up there working, and I'll be going up tomorrow morning in the dark. I'm going to leave right away before it gets light out by 5, and hopefully get up there early in the morning so we can get a full day in tomorrow. And Adam came because he picked up the Wolf Reg 17 VS splitter, and he's taking that up. And I am taking up the 17 RS, and I've got it loaded into the trailer here already. I did that just a little while ago, so we've got it loaded in, strapped in, tied in. It's all ready to go. So I'm gonna be taking that up, and we're gonna be doing a bunch of splitting. I guess most of the wood is already cut up. Jason's been running the processor, Kenny's been cutting, Jim's been cutting, a couple of guys have been cutting, and they got a lot of big wood. He said it's a lot of stuff that's over 20 inches, 22, 24, 25 inches, which means can't use the processor. And Jason said he ran his processor like half a day, and he got, I think he said he had 7 cords or something like that done already with his processor. So he got a bunch of stuff done. So I'm not taking the processor, which I originally was going to do, but he said don't bother bringing it because everything else that's left that needs to be split, cut, is all big stuff. So the Blockbuster 1412 Plus is not going, it's going to stay right here. And I'll be going up there for at least 2 days, maybe 3 days. We'll see how it goes. And if we get it all done, I guess then we're done in 2 days, but it could be 3. And then next week, I've got a bunch of deliveries. I got some campgrounds to go to deliver to, and I got to go to a restaurant again to Parm. And I've got a guy coming next week from Blockbuster to pick up this machine. They're taking it back to Blockbuster next week, and they're going to do some rehab on it. A couple little things that need to be fixed on it. that weren't quite up to par because they're going to be selling this. And then this is going to a show. I guess it's going somewhere out east, New York, something like that, Pennsylvania. I forget where it's going. That's happening next week. By the time you see this, it'll be done. But this machine is going and it's going to be sold. And then about 2 weeks after that, we're getting a new machine. It's going to be the 1520 plus HO, super high output, super duper something high output, speedy machine. I don't know. They did a bunch of stuff. It's got a bigger engine, bigger bunch of stuff on it. So that'll be cool. So we're going to be getting that in about 3 weeks from now. Yeah, about 3 weeks from now. And then all this stuff will get done. I wanted to get more of this done. I wanted to get that oak done while I still had this machine, but I got so much other stuff to do. I've got all kinds of tree service wood out there to do. I've got bundles to do. We got bins to rebuild and a couple new bins to build. So I got lots to do. So that's what's happening. So I will see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. I'll be on the road heading up to the Boy Scout camp. I'm sure you're going to be here. It's going to be fun and exciting. See you then. Good night, everyone.